What's up, everyone? MrAnimeRandom here with the fourth episode of the Random Anime Podcast. Hope you all enjoy the past three podcasts. It was a whole load of fun. Had a whole bunch of different co-hosts with different topics, different type of games, different things to change things up. Today is going to be a little bit unique. We are going to be talking about different phrases and different words within the anime community that could use a little bit of clarification, a little bit of definition, and our own spin on the whole words and phrases. Joining me today, as always, is James.
Hey, hey.
Zach.
Wait, I'm still here?
And Devo.
What's up?
So, guys, we're going to get right into this and talk about the one big distinction, what an otaku is and what a weeaboo is. So, Devo, give me your definition of what a weeaboo is.
Well, most people would think that a weeaboo is a compliment, but in my definition, it's a huge insult to so many people that like anime and manga and Japanese culture itself.
How about you, James? Do you have anything to add?
I always think that it's a big insult, and I hate that people like use that as the word that, you know, is like a positive thing, because honestly I just feel like whenever I hear it I'm like, oh, are you just mocking everything that I stand for personally? So.
And Zach, what about you?
I mean, I agree with the guys. It's an insult not only in the mainstream American and international anime community. In Japan, it is something that is a disgrace, basically, to be called. You do not want to be a weeb in any sort of the word.
Right. And just to kind of clarify things, what we're talking about, weeaboo or weeb, as the short term of that word, is essentially when somebody who is in the anime culture or the anime fandom, and they tend to think that reading manga or watching anime allows them to fully know, understand, and acknowledge the Japanese culture just by anime alone. And that's not how it is in the slightest. And it's more of an insult than anything, as what everybody else was saying. But it's also an insult on everything. It's the whole entire concept of thinking you understand somebody's culture without actually experiencing it. So those who are actually living in Japan, those who have studied in Japan and moved back to whatever country now that they are in, or whatever the case might be, have a better understanding of what the culture is than somebody who has watched anime. Anime would only give you the absolute basic minimum of what some anime culture might be, and that's using all of those terms very loosely. And I'm sure you guys can all agree with me on that one, right?
Yeah, it doesn't even come close.
Right. So now that we know what a weeaboo is, okay, and I'm sure some of us just use it lightly against each other, but it's really mainly an insult. The one that's kind of more of a step down, it's still an insult, but it's not as bad as a weeaboo, would be an otaku, right? So James, give me your definition of what an otaku is.
An otaku is someone who is like extremely fond of, I mean, and really realistically anybody can be an otaku about anything, but usually refers to like anime and how much somebody really enjoys anime, from what I can
put together.
Yeah.
It's definitely that. It's Zach, what about you?
Building off what James said, it could go from a very low perspective where you just like anime and it's in your life a little bit, to the people who are watching anime every day. They're going to the conventions, they're doing panels, they're doing so many things. A lot of people, even listening to this podcast, would call every single one of us on this podcast an otaku.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
So
yeah.
It's not really, at this day and age, it's not really much of an insult, more of a badge of honor to say, yes, I'm a part of the anime community, but I do not take it to that extra extreme.
And Devo, how about you? Do you have any more to add?
Well, when I think of the word otaku, it reminds me of the American word shut-in, because that's what people in Japan consider an otaku, a shut-in, someone that stays in their house all the time. While here in America, we literally evolutionized the word otaku in a right sense, where an otaku means here in America someone that loves anime, someone that loves manga, someone that would have a wall scroll hang up on their wall, or even having the best amount of figurines.
Good calls, good points.
He just described my room.
Yeah, it might be. But, you know, to kind of sum up all of that, now we're talking about otakus. Yes, it is a change. It's the evolution of what otaku used to mean. What it means now is anybody who has like an obsession with I feel it's more of that personal thing, whatever it might be, whether it's video games, anime, My Little Pony, whatever the case might be. It's more of a consumption of your life. It doesn't mean that you can't function. It doesn't mean that you can't live. You know, it doesn't mean that you don't have a job or school or any of those other things, but it's more or less there's no getting away from it. You know, you involved yourself so far deep into that culture, into the anime fandom that is what we're talking about for otaku, that it became you. So for me, if you guys listening and everybody else, if you guys look at pictures of my room, I have wall scrolls all over my walls covering up everything. I got posters on my ceilings. I have figurines lying everywhere. I've got plushies. I've got blankets. I've got a towel. I even have socks and underwear, and you know, you name it, I probably have it in some way, shape, or form, anime related something. I've got postcards, I have notepads, pencils and pens, and I even have an ice cube tray that's anime related. Like, you really can't get too much more anime related than that. So,
Man, I'm getting those Dragon Ball Z shoes that are coming out. Those things are hot.
oh yeah, that'll definitely be pretty sweet.
Yes, especially since we're close to New York right now.
Those are the two main words I wanted to start off this podcast with. Gonna take a short little break, and I'm going to ask you guys, those that are listening in, to post in the comments below some of your favorite anime phrases, some things that you've heard in the anime community or in anime in general that you personally like. Go ahead, post them in the comments below. I want to go ahead and know what you guys are liking and those different phrases. Post them there, and my co-hosts are going to be watching for those comments as well. Definitely going to be pretty interesting to read those. So post them. We're going to go check them out. Going back to these different words, these different things that we're talking about, another big word, huge word, and I think it's more so in the anime community than anything. It's not really in the gaming community as much, and it's not really in any other community. I would say that ship, SHIP, is used in the anime community as if it's water, as if it's a bloodline. How do you guys think about ship, right? The word itself and what it means and everything else. Devo, you could start us off on this one.
It is like a whole fandom thing where people ship certain characters together, as it could start a war, it could start a fire, or it could start a whole, like a fan club. It can start a whole fan club just by shipping two characters that aren't canonly together or are not yet together.
And I'm just gonna stop you right there for a second. What is a ship? Not a ship that's floating on the water. I'm talking about relating to anime.
Like a ship is a couple that is based off of popularity from different fandoms.
So you're telling me that it could be any two or a pair of two characters within an anime, correct?
Yes.
Have you seen, and I'm jumping to you, James, now.
Mhm.
Have you seen more canon ships within the community or non-canon ships? And can you explain to the listeners what canon and non-canon is?
Okay, so if it's canon, then it's part of the story. Like, it's literally written into it. Like, you would say Orihime and Ichigo are canon because they are a couple
And
at some point. And if it's not canon, then it's usually something that's like in the air. Like, the characters might not interact a lot, and one character likes the other, or maybe it's just two characters that seem like they would go well together, but there's something that's stopping them. I don't know.
And James, using using canon and non-canon, okay? Again, you went over the definition of it. Now we're talking about ships and all of that, and those two words definitely relate to what a ship is. Do you see more canon ships or do you see more non-canon ships?
Well, clearly the fan base has all these ideas about who should be with who, you know, and they'll be like, oh, this character should be with this character, like, you know, the like Naruto Sakura thing. How there's like hints that it could be like that, you know, and then it was like, oh, here's the wedding, and suddenly Naruto is married to, you know,
Hinata.
someone else. Yeah, Hinata.
Right.
I wasn't sure if we were. Yeah.
No, that one's kind of like common knowledge now, but
Okay.
you know, it
It's
could
been
be
like half a year.
I'm just
Right.
saying there could be somebody out there.
or Zach. I'll move on to you. So using Naruto as an example, so a canon ship would be Sasuke and Sakura because obviously they became a couple, right?
Correct.
Now, can you name one of the biggest non-canon ships within the Naruto world?
Naruto and Sasuke.
There you go.
Another one that surprised me when I heard about it was a lot of people were trying to pair up Gaara with somebody, and one person who constantly kept popping up was
it Rock Lee?
Tenten.
Oh,
No,
Tenten.
it was Tenten.
Hmm.
Like, that was another thing. I saw Rock Lee and Tenten,
Yeah.
and that's still up in the air.
Well, Rock Lee and Tenten were kind of the ones that they were trying to make more canon shippy.
Yeah, they were.
They're still trying to, but I'm like,
Right.
Tenten will never get over Neji, so I don't see it happening.
Right. So I mean, it's definitely that case with the whole thing, but you know, it's things that could potentially happen. So right now it's non-canon, but it could switch to canon, which is, I think, pretty interesting too.
Just like any relationship you think is going to happen in One Piece.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, like Robin and Zoro, or
Robin
and Frankie, or Robin and Sanji, or Sanji and Nami, but Nami and Luffy, and then Luffy
Pretty much.
Luffy and
much.
Boa.
Pretty much, Robin's getting around.
and Robin.
Yeah, pretty much.
Robin is
Robin a
handsy.
lot.
Right.
Robin is handsy. She's very handsy.
So
When it comes to the shipping, like Robin can be shipped with anybody.
now,
Basically.
Now, here's a very interesting topic that we're going to talk about in relation to ships and either whether it's canon or non-canon. And this is going to be just whether you think it's canon or non-canon. I'm going to ask for votes. And because there's 3 of you, it's going to definitely be a tie broken. All right. So I know you guys have all watched Ouran High School Host Club. There's a reason why I'm asking this question. Okay. So Zach, I'm going to start off with you.
Oh man, I'm on the spotlight.
You're on the spotlight. Here we go. The Hitachin twins. So Hikaru and Karu.
Oh no.
Do you consider that a canon ship or a non-canon ship?
I consider that a fanfic.
So non-canon.
I consider that massively. It's something that a lot of they hinted at it, they never confirmed it, and because they never confirmed it, fans just went nuts.
Well, Okay, how about you, James? What do you think?
Non-canon. I don't. I think that there was a lot of like, oh, it could be, but I don't think it was ever confirmed.
Eh,
So to
but
me, non-canon.
what about you, Devo?
Well, if we're talking about the manga, I have no idea about. But when it comes to the anime, they even said that they use that as an act. So I would have to say non-canon.
Well, here's what I'm gonna go ahead and say, and I'm just gonna go through the votes just one last time after I say my little argument, because I have some sort of hinkling or feeling that they are kind of a canon ship more so than non-canon, and here's my reasoning behind that. Okay, so in the anime, yes, they do put on that act when they're in the host club itself, when they are actually in the music room and or with any type of host members. But when they are by themselves or when they are with just the other hosts, in different places, whether they're at a house or they're at, just a private area that they don't have to worry about putting on a persona or putting on that type of act. They still act that way. And not only that, but there was one episode where they are both naked in bed and they wake up because of the maids coming in there. And then there was the funny little elephant that was just so happened to be that nice censorship. And then it
The
and then
oh
it
so
blew
cruel censorship.
then it blew confetti out of there. It just went poof, and then it just blew the confetti out of there.
I'll give
Well,
anime one creative thing that they do a very good job of finding interesting ways to censor something.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, they. Well, speaking of censoring things, we'll get into that in probably a future episode of this podcast.
We
But
will.
Oh, so yeah,
the so now going on to the votes, I'm just gonna ask you real quick: did all of that I said change your mind? Zach, how about you?
I'm gonna say it did because the evidence just points too far in one direction.
Okay, how about you, James?
oh yeah, it's changed. As soon as you said elephant and confetti, I was like, okay, it's in the book, it's in the bag, it's done.
And Devo, how about you?
Well, even though we've seen an elephant and some confetti, we're not going to go too deep into that details. But, but
Oh,
there's
you're the
always
one
a
who said that.
For
but I still gotta keep my vote because like one of the twins likes the main heroine.
Well, that's okay. You can have a side bay. That's fine.
Like,
But-
What is this, a harem?
This is some of the most interesting things that we could go ahead and talk about, especially when talking about ships. And these are the discussions that, especially with all of the listeners, that we end up engaging in all of the time. We talk about these ships and cannons, and it's not the same word that you're thinking that it is. It's a completely different word. It means something completely different to us in our world, in our realm, in our community. And transitioning from Oran High School Host Club, another big two sets of words, which are pairs, because one word means one thing and the other word means the complete opposite, and that is harems. Harem and reverse harem. So that is the reverse or the opposite of what a harem is. So I'll start off this one with the definition of what a harem is. And then I'm sure there's at least one anime that you guys can come up with that is a harem. And by the way, the reverse harem would be Oran High School Host Club. Nice transition there. Thank you. I'm the best. No, I'm kidding. All right, so a harem is when an anime is a romance-based or has a romance element to the anime in which there is a main male anime character that has multiple female interests within the entire series, to which those female interests will actually fall in love with the main male character. And a reverse harem is when you have a female character and mostly all male characters falling in love with the female character. So that's why RN High School Host Club has the main female character and a whole bunch of male characters fawning over her. And it's definitely a very interesting dynamic with that. So, guys, tell me, I'll start off with you, Devo. Can you think of a harem?
Well, that is an easy one. I would have to go with The World God Only Knows. As we have the main... it's kind of funny talking about it because of the fact that the main character is literally the god of conquest. He calls himself that throughout the whole thing. And the only way to keep his head and survive another day is by making girls fall in love with him.
There you go. Now, James, what about you?
Everyday Life with Monster Girls. Everyday
Okay.
Life with Monster Girls.
Wow, I'm surprised you guys are not hitting the big heavy hitters for the harems. You didn't even mention High School DxD.
I was thinking about it, but I just was thinking about Lamia. So I don't know.
Or
Whatever.
or High School of the Dead.
Oh yeah, High School of the
Mhm.
Dead. Yeah,
That's a huge one. And
it is a good. Yeah, it's a good one.
Or Love Hannah.
yep, that's another one. You also have, which you can argue yes or no, there is some sort of love interests or multiple love interests, which is the anime that I'm currently watching again, is Food Wars.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because you have multiple characters falling in love with Soma, the main male character, and it's definitely that nice dynamic. Then you'll have, is it wrong to try to pick up girls in a dungeon?
And also Tenchi Muyo.
Yep, that's another. Oh my god, that actually is another big one too.
It is.
And Zach, how about you? Zach, what is a harem anime? Give me an example of a harem anime.
Man, there's so many good ones out there.
Name one.
I would say Date Alive at the moment.
There you go.
At the moment is my favorite because obviously season 3, so I'm rewatching everything. But there's so many good harem animes, and they always produce one good one every other season. They always have one good new one.
Definitely agree with you there. Time for another break. We've talked about weeaboos, otakus, ships, canons, non-canons, harems, and reverse harems. It's time for you guys in the comments below to go ahead and post one of your favorite anime ships. It could be canon, it could be non-canon, whatever you guys want to post them in the comments below. We want to see who your favorites are. It might even be one of our favorites too. So go ahead and post them. We'll go ahead and interact with you guys in those comments. So go ahead and share. Let us know your favorite ship.
I will give somebody bonus points if they post the canon from Bobobo in the comments.
Oh no, here we go. Now, to finish this segment off, to finish the 4th podcast episode off, I want to talk about a few other choice words that's within the anime community. And I'm sure that these words do come up from time to time, but they are not, I guess you could say, as prevalent as all of these other words that we have talked about. Can you guys think of any specific phrases or words that you want to talk about before we get into mine? That you feel that we should go ahead and mention, do a definition of anything of that sort.
Do not be a NEET. If you're a NEET, you never come out of the house and you have no job training. Go out, get a job, then watch anime.
How about you, Diva? Do you have any words or phrases you want us to go over?
Senpai.
There you go. You actually hit the nail on the head with the one that I wanted to talk about. One of
Anime Man Senpai.
So senpai can go alongside these two other words that we're going to finish off this podcast episode with, and that is waifu or husbando. Now, I am going to break up all of these three words to you guys. You will be able to describe them, and then we're just going to briefly go over examples of all of these things, and then we're going to finish up this episode nice and strong. So, Devo, tell me what a senpai is.
Well, thank you, Anime Man. Well, senpai is a teacher. He is a older student, or could even be someone guiding a young girl or a young man to becoming greater than he already is, or she is.
Okay, that sounds pretty straightforward, pretty encompassing in the whole entire anime community. It's definitely something that will come up often. One that does come up often, but not so much, would be husbando. And James, you could get into that one.
Husbando is clearly like the character that someone is attracted to, usually, or like really fancies, and they're of the male variety because it corresponds with waifu.
Well, who would be the person who would like a husbando? Or why is there husbandos in the first place? Like, what became of husbando?
Well, clearly it's just like the idea of marrying an anime character and seeing traits that would be, if you were actually going to marry an anime character, would be traits that you would want to have in a husband, right?
Okay.
I mean,
and how about you, Zach? Give me the definition of waifu.
Waifu is basically any female character within the whole anime manga universe, or even in real life. You can call your actual girlfriend or your wife your waifu. It's somebody out there that you care about, or somebody that you actually like. For me, Grius Grimmery is one of my waifus.
Okay.
She's not the waifu. Hestia is the waifu.
Well, see, this is where we're gonna get into. Actually, we're not gonna get into this argument now.
Oh, if we started getting into this argument, we'd be here all day.
But
we just start listing things.
I know that when it comes to waifus, husbandos, they tend to be very protective of one and only one per character kind of thing. And I know that things definitely get pretty heated among friends, and it's kind of a fun thing to do, to fight for your waifu or fight for your husbando. I definitely do it a lot. One of my favorite waifus is Seiko from High School of the Dead.
Yes.
mm-hmm.
Because she's got strength, she's smart, and she's definitely good looking. So she's got the mixture of like everything that you can ever ask for. So for me, that's definitely a nice contender for good waifu. There's plenty of other ones there too. that's just one of them. Now, Diva, you got one?
Oh, that's easy. We talked about this already. As Death from
There you go.
yeah.
Okay.
She is literally the whole package. She got rest for days. She's got literally able to freeze time. She's able to use ice magic. She is able to even beat down the toughest generals.
And James, what about you?
Man, Vanessa from Black Clover. Because, if I wanted to get drunk, I could get drunk with her, and she'd be just as drunk as I was. So, that'd be fun.
What is this, a beer contest?
Yup, it is now.
Sounds like it.
If you want a beer contest, go in the Trigun.
There you go.
But also, Vanessa is like stacked too. So, and she's a really powerful magician, and that's also really cool. So,
well, let's all be honest, guys. Waifus definitely have to have some assets, and I'm talking about the plot, quote unquote, the plot. Okay?
there has to be a
Good
lot.
censoring.
Now, if you like a waifu with no plot, then more power to you. I mean, if you're a Megumin kind of character lover, go for it, right? But if you don't like the plot, okay, then I guess I don't know what to say to you.
Good luck.
But I'm gonna go ahead and finish it up there. Guys, in the comments below, post your favorite waifu or your husbandu. You got a whole bunch of things to post in the comments. We want to go ahead and interact with you guys. So post in those comments all of those different things that we go ahead and we ask for throughout this different podcast. Oh, and post in the comments if you know what I'm talking about when I'm saying plot, quote unquote plot. Post in the comments. I'll go ahead and give a shout out to one person who posts in the comments on my Twitter account just for the fun of it. Mix things up a little bit. Hit that thumbs up button. Share with your friends. Also hit the subscribe button and that bell icon so you guys can get all the notifications on when new content comes out. All of the podcasts will be posted on my channel, MrAnimeRandom. And guys, as always, deuces up.
Peace.
See you
No
later.
saying your waifu is shit.